following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to Gate City Chronicles. I'm Kevin Abard, your host, and today I am joined by Jim Ettinger. Did I get that right, Jim?
That's right.
All right, Jim Ettinger, and you're with the Granite State Senior Games.
Correct.
And you are the executive or the CEO? Or
I'm the chairman.
The chairman.
For the next 2 years.
All right.
Big job.
Yeah, well, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Aye, that's correct. That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
Well, I have a lot of questions, and one of them is who is eligible for these games? Now, actually, tell me a little bit, what are these games?
Well, the Senior Games was started about in 1987, and this is our 26th year, and we put on sporting events for people 50 plus, male and female. And they range from 50s and to the 80s and the 90s. And we did have one year someone over 100 come over from Vermont participate in track and field. But it's 50 plus. And one of the events, track and field, we have lowered that to 45 to 49 to kind of get more people involved into the track and field events.
Just getting people ready for their senior years.
That's correct.
Oh,
yep.
What was how did all this come together?
Well, it started back up in Laconia as winter games. And then they decided to add a few summer sports, and the winter sports kind of fell by the wayside, so they moved it to more summer sports, and then later on they moved it down to Manchester. And that's where we've been ever since.
Right. Whose idea was this in the beginning?
I really couldn't tell you who started it, but I think back in '86, the year before, there were 33 states that had similar games. And they went and started up in the Nationals, and but I don't know if it was probably a group of individuals of 4 or 5 people that just said, let's get some games together for seniors, and those people are, sorry to say, are no longer with us.
Right.
You know, that they moved along to greater pastures, and hopefully they're doing some senior games somewhere else.
Right.
Too.
Yeah. Well, life is more than just playing golf, too, right?
Oh, I mean, definitely.
But
definitely.
So if you have a competitive spirit and you want to get involved with certain kinds of games, this is an avenue for some people to look at.
And a lot of the people, especially the track and field, they've been doing this since high school or college. And they've taken some time off, and all of a sudden they see something like this, and they say, I'm going to jump back and do this. I loved doing this when I was younger. And so we provide that venue for them to do track and field and many other the 18 sports that we have.
So this is also an outlet for people to just get together socially, obviously.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Fun, fitness, and I forget what the other word is, but we have a lot of social with this. People come back every year to meet the same people that they have been with the previous year and compete with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when I was a kid, you think of when you're in your 60s and 50s, you think about the rocking chair and shuffleboard, and boy, things have really changed.
They have. They have. Although there's a movement now with the national organizations and the states to go that route and try to get more people involved that are not in the competitive or physical fitness to get into the competition that they have with the senior games. And we just want to get them out there and do anything to movement and get them off the couch because that's where a lot of things are happening. We're going to be more towards health and fitness,
right,
and down the road.
Well, that brings up a question. So you have games scheduled. Are there training events leading up to these games that you folks join together, or do you just show up at a particular event?
You just show up. They are out there doing their own physical fitness and training on their own. We do have, for instance, one of our sports is pickleball. So we do have a number of people who play it on a regular basis.
Pickleball.
Yep, pickleball. That's a sport that's been around for over 40 years, but only in the last probably 4 or 5 years on the eastern seaboard has it been coming along and growing. And I got myself involved with that in 2010. And
Is it what I think it is?
it's a combination of tennis, badminton, and table tennis.
Okay, absolutely nothing.
Nothing to do
I'm
with
thinking
your
of pickle, you know, you're busting a gut because you're going back and forth, trying to
No,
outrun
it has
the ball.
nothing to do
Baseball.
with that. No.
Really?
Yeah, getting yourself in a pickle. No. And it's the strange name. The strange name that it is came about by some people were working, playing in their yard out on in Washington State out on the coast out there where it got started, and they didn't know what to name it when they started doing this, and they had a wiffle ball, and it would go astray, and then the dog would go after it and bring it back, and then they'd send it out again after they'd hit it. The ball would go astray. The dog's name was Pickles,
Gotcha.
so they named it pickleball.
You know, I had some very competitive wiffle ball games with my next door neighbor years back. We could actually throw a curve with that thing.
Yeah.
It was so. How do you train for something
Well,
like that?
with this here, it's you use a paddle, which is not a racket like a tennis racket or a badminton racket. It's a paddle, wooden paddle, or some other composite material, and it's a little larger than a table tennis paddle. And then also the court size is the size of a badminton court, exactly 20 by 44. And the tennis comes into it with the net in the middle. It's a smaller net than what it is, so we're playing on basically a smaller tennis court.
That's interesting.
And the only difference is on the serve, you serve underhand. You don't serve overhand like you do with regular tennis.
Can you spike it though after you're in play?
You do. You have to let the ball bounce twice on a serve before you actually can spike it. And there's a 7-foot area from the net back to a line, and you can't spike it within that line. You have to wait, be outside of that line.
Oh.
And they don't spike it as much because
Right.
it's a finesse game. And it's more like just getting the ball hit it over the net and into the kitchen, what it's called, and just wait to see who's going to make the error. And then if they do make it, sometimes they miss getting it over the net, or they get it high enough, they will spike it.
Is this taking the country by storm? Or
Oh,
what?
boy, yeah, wonderful. You know, it's amazing. Just in the Manchester area alone, I have about 135 people in the last 3 years, and that's only become by word of mouth. We have a lot of families. It's a family fun sport.
Right.
We have husbands and wives. We have girlfriends and boyfriends, and some of them bring their kids if they're old enough to play. And we're actually in the schools, too, in Manchester.
So how does New Hampshire rate amongst the other states?
In pickleball,
Well, yeah.
if you go down to Florida, they're gonna
crush you, right?
Yeah, they are.
They got the dream team down there, right?
Because they are playing year round.
Yeah.
And actually, people have moved from the Manchester, the Northeast here, to the warmer climate so they can play year round. And that's how it gets started up here, is because people were coming back from Florida and Arizona, the warmer climates, in the springtime, and they come home and they have no place to play. So the National Association said, well, gee, we got to get somebody to recruit and get people out there. So they recruited a few people to start it up, and I got recruited to do it in the Manchester area.
Interesting. I wonder if there aren't cruise ships yet.
There have been.
Really?
There was one went out a year ago. It was a pickleball cruise, and they get it out on the.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other events that are that people can compete in?
Well, like I said, we do archery. We do the badminton, the tennis, the table tennis, the cycling. We have a pistol shoot contest too.
Oh.
With a .22 caliber weapon.
Yep.
And
I don't see that on here for.
Bullseye pistol, Saturday, August 17th. That's
Oh,
going
there
to
you
be
go.
held.
Yes, all right. Yeah.
And then we have a race walk, we have cycling, we have road race, and this year we're introducing softball, a new sport. We try to introduce a sport on an off year, and this is an off year for us.
Right.
Meaning that it's not a qualifying year to nationals. Last year there was a qualifying year, and people qualified to go to the nationals, which are being held in Cleveland, and they start July 19th this month,
Right.
and they run for 2 weeks. So they qualified last year, and they go. We got about 80 some odd people going from New Hampshire.
Do you have a large membership here in New Hampshire?
We probably have in the vicinity of 400 to 500 attend our senior games.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah. And an off year, it's going to be less But then a qualifying year, which will be next year, that'll bring those numbers back up again.
Now, how do you get the word out that, I mean, obviously you're here on the television show, but are you on social networks, Facebook?
Yes, we have our own Facebook. We have our own website. And we also, a lot of these people come back year after year, and they're the ones that bring the friends and the relatives and the back with them.
Right.
You know? And so it's a lot of repeats every year.
So how competitive does this get?
It does. It can be very, remember, you're playing within 5-year age groups. So from 50 to 54, you're competing within those age groups.
Okay.
All the way up the line. And it's a real competition, but it's a friendly competition too.
Right.
You know, and they know sometimes when they're in there and they're playing against someone, they know they're going to get beat. But it's just a lot of fun for them just to be here and do that.
Yeah, it helps with the drive too, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, very much so. Very much so.
Working out alone by yourself, it's okay, but you know, if you're with somebody, that pushes you a little bit.
Oh yeah, it does. And then they all like sometimes the people, especially in track and field, they'll show up and they haven't participated since last year. They just came in and they throw the javelin or throw the discus, or they do a few 50 or 100 meter runs, and that's it.
I just brought my father-in-law from the airport the other day, yesterday actually, and he had a great time in Florida. It was actually cooler down there than it was up here. And he said, you would not believe there's some seniors down there doing the javelin, and they're doing the javelin.
Yeah.
And that's where you jump over is that the one, the javelin, the one where you jump over the pole?
No, that's
Pole
pole
vaulting, I'm
pole
sorry.
vault. Yeah,
Javelin. They were doing pole vaulting.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow,
yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
that is amazing.
Yeah, you can.
So-
And you see some of these guys out there in their 70s and 80s, and they're big, tall fellas. And they were bigger in college. They kind of shrunk a little bit over the years. But my goodness, they still have muscle there to throw that javelin, throw the discus. And you should see some of the women out there, too, that also do it.
Yeah, well, we concluded that, really being a senior is really a state of mind.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
If you give up, then you give up.
Yep.
But if you want to enjoy life, just keep going at the pace that you can go.
We have a lot of independent living facilities here in the state of New Hampshire. We don't have them all over the country.
Right.
And the activity directors are in there, and they're the ones that are pushing these people to get out and do something. If they've known they've done something in the past, they're trying to get them out. I have people in the senior communities that the activity director is actually putting them on the computer, the application and the registration for them, because these people do not bother with computers at their age.
Right.
And they just will not do it. So we have paper entries, but they are helping out and they're putting them on there just to make sure that they get in there. Because if they don't,
Right.
they're not going to enter into any of the events.
So how hard is the process? Do you have to be a member in order to get into these games?
No. You just there's a registration fee for $40, and that $40 gets you to participate in any of the 18 sports,
Right.
except golf. Golf is a separate fee because of green fees involved with that.
Right.
And we have 2 team fees. We have a basketball team, and we also have softball. And basketball's been around for a few years. It's a 3-on-3 sport.
Do you have to get picked?
No.
There's not a lineup saying, "Oh, I want you."
No.
No dream teams.
No.
You sign up. You're okay.
You
You're on
do.
this.
Yeah, and you try to find people out there in the age group to participate. And we have 2 teams, I think, here going to Cleveland this year. But you end up with a team of probably about 4 or 5 people on the team.
Is the golf a scramble, or is that pretty much just
Yeah,
individual?
it's a scramble. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And we with the when they start off, it's a shotgun, and some years we've had 72 out there, all 18 holes going, and then sometimes we do allow up to 80 participants, and we'll just but we haven't seen that in 3 years now.
Anybody donating a car for a hole-in-one or anything like that?
We had that we had that a couple times, but it was tough now to get the dealership to do that. There's a lot involved in getting that car out there.
Right.
And it's an expense too.
Sure.
But you don't see that happening too much anymore.
Yeah, no.
It would be nice.
I've been close.
You have been close,
just
yeah.
close, just a club away, but that's torture.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
better not off making the green. So How about sponsors? Does somebody sponsor all this?
Well,
or-
we've had some sponsors in the past. We haven't gone back to get them, and we're trying to do that. I mean, some of the bigger companies in the area that we've had in the past, we got to go back and reach out to them again to help us out. There was a
Right.
dry period a year or so ago, and we couldn't get anything, and now we're seeing we got to go back out there and do this again.
Again, I think I asked, but this is a nonprofit.
Nonprofit,
Okay.
exactly, 501c.
Right.
And so all the donations, we get donations in addition to the registration fee. Some of the participants know the situation, and they send in an extra $20 or $40 for a donation.
Right.
But that $40 gets you to play in any sport that you want.
And do you get a nice shirt like that, or?
We have some T-shirts. These are the ones that when they go to Cleveland, the Nationals, we get these kind of shirts for them.
Okay.
And we get, like I say, July 19th coming up. Our shirts are going to be coming in tomorrow, so we got to get them distributed to them. Sometimes we get them too late. We have to take them with us when we go to National,
Right.
and we get them distributed out there.
So when are these events coming? When is all this going to?
This is, with us, it's starting August 2nd. If you see on the back, it's starting August 2nd, Friday with bowling, and then the 3rd. And we pretty much go through the whole month of August. Most of these are done on weekends, except softball and golf. That'll be done on a weekday. Golf, naturally, because we get a better rate by having it on a weekday than
Right.
have it on a weekend.
Sure. And where do you play?
Well, this year the golf is going to be up at Country Club in New Hampshire, up in Sutton, off of 89.
Right.
Exit 10, I think it is. And we have been in the past out at in Candy Woods. We have been before that. God, I can't remember the last time, the other one before that. But Candy Woods was the last one I remember.
Okay.
So we've been there a few years. We move around to get ourselves more involved with the local community too.
Right.
So we try to do that.
Yeah, Sutton's not a really big town. Nice area. But
It is, but it's where the golf is out there, and we know the pro out there, and actually a board member is his son.
is that out for exit 9?
I think it's 9. I think it's 10.
10?
Yeah.
10, right.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful area up
Yeah,
there.
it is.
Very
It
nice
is.
area.
And we try to find a golf course naturally with 18 holes, but also something that's pretty level.
Right.
And but everybody has a cart.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. Does
Yeah, it's
everybody-
a half a cart. Half a cart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of those that are on that are disabled, they have a disabled flag, and allows them to go up to the green.
Okay.
All right, so
With their cart.
with their cart, right?
Oh,
So
very
to
nice.
save some time. Yeah. So, but those that's not too many that happens to. But the golf is a wonderful time. It's a great time being out there, as you know, as you play, and but golf has dropped down considerably in the numbers. And one of the things that I'm trying to do this year is get more women involved in golf. We have probably maybe 3 or 4 or 5 women, and in the past we used to have probably 25 or 30.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
It's not a man's sport anymore. More and more women are getting involved, I
Yep.
thought, in playing competitively. And it's a great time. You don't have to be good at it.
No.
All you got to do is enjoy your company.
And then that's what, because we have a lot of players that are good, but we have some that are so, and they just want to get out there and play.
Right, yeah.
You know, and just going out and playing a couple times a week with a foursome of some friends. But then when they say, well, let's go and play at a tournament, you know, the tournament for golf is it's $55 for 18 holes and a half a cart.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's
that's the extra.
That's like going to the movies, really.
Yeah.
You know, plus if you're enjoying your company, I enjoy it, especially scrambles. You know, there's no pressure.
No,
Yeah, it's just go. Hey, good job, good job.
that's right.
And
That's
maybe
right.
you'll get that once or twice. That's all you need is to keep coming back.
That's true.
Now, Charlotte, is that your wife?
Yes.
Yeah, does she play pickleball too?
She started a couple years ago with us. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and she hasn't been out there as much as she would like to. But there are a lot of husband and wives out there.
Yeah.
And but it is more of a family. It's a intergenerational type of sport.
Yeah.
And we have a couple families there that they're playing with their grandchildren.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, how about the cheerleaders? I mean, you got to have a fan base out there watching Grandpa and Grandma just running the track.
You know, at the tournament they do show up, but otherwise it's everybody's out there that comes to the court. They're not going to stand around the court because we're going to give them a paddle and get them on the court to try it out.
Interesting.
Because it is so much fun. And it's very easy because we play doubles and you're not moving around as much on a court. You really don't get injured either. I mean, if you slip on a wet surface, you're going to. So we tried the rain we've been having. We had to cancel a lot of our outdoor events on pickleball because of the surface being too wet, especially to wear sneakers.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if you get hit, I've got hit a couple times, but I get hit when two of us as partners would go and we try to hit together, and we hit each other's hands.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the extent of it.
Now, do you have videos or any places where people can actually see how pickleball is played?
You go to the National Association, that's usapa.org, and they have everything on there about pickleball.
Okay.
It's usapa.org.
Now, this is an American-made game.
That's correct. It is. And I never thought of it by America, but it was.
It's going to be a new pastime.
Yeah,
Very early.
It started out on the West Coast in Seattle, off the coast of Seattle, Washington, by a congressman from Washington who happened to be home for some time during the summer, and they started.
I lived out in Everett for a little while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's nice area.
Yeah.
Are there any parting thoughts that you'd like to share with our guests?
Well, just like anybody, to please show up and call our number or do the thing and register with us with.
What is the number?
The telephone number is, we have it somewhere here. Telephone number is 504-8425, and our website is nhseniorgames.org. And you give us a call or send us an email. Go look at our website, and but if you're interested in pickleball, go to usapa.org, and there's everything on there about pickleball.
Jim Anderdiger, thank you very much for coming on
Thank you very
our
much,
show.
Kevin. Appreciate it.
All right, and please get involved. Call Jim, and get involved. And if you've got a competitive spirit, this is something that you might be interested in. And thanks for watching Gate City Chronicles. Until next week.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.